But I think that process, though, through really focusing, on people's stories, on the expressions behind the words, the meaning that it carries. I kind of developed this mission, really, to take people's words and carry it with me and bring it out to the world. Well, I think progress and humanity do go hand in hand. And I think what really speaks to, a monitored journalism is how it's received by the people we interview. What we're doing at the Monitor, and what I explain to people is that, we're exploring shared experiences and shared humanity. We express it in different ways. Maybe it's in different tones and in different shades, but it's still the same common challenges, the common triumphs, the common experiences. And we enrich ourselves by learning more about others. We learn more about ourselves. And so I think, what it says is, for a lot of these people I speak to that are always at first very puzzled, and once they get what we're doing, they really latch onto it, because I think we're not just challenging people's views of what, the Middle East is for our readers, but we're really challenging the views of people here in the region in terms of what American values are, but what American journalism could be. That's not just a top-down relationship where we're just looking from above and taking a quote and taking a photo, but we're actually having an equal relationship between interviewee, reporter, and readers back home, where we're all just companions on a shared journey into common humanity and also exploring our common challenges. So really, it's a sense of teamwork. And I think you can't explore progress until you first put everyone at a level playing field. And that's what the Monitor does so well.
One person commented that it's kind of baffling to them how Western media still report favorably about certain countries in the Gulf region, while Iran is cast in a very negative light. What's your position on, or what are your views on this as a Monitor correspondent?
Well, I think my views and the way I go about it, and I think it's in harmony with the Monitor approaches. We don't boycott a community or society or people because we don't agree with their government or the government's actions, or maybe their governments don't share our values. And I think we look very critically at governments and their motivations and their policies. I think, unfortunately, there are some Western journalists that go to Gulf countries and they're kind of wowed by the, horse and pony shows and kind of don't really delve into the motivations behind it. And I think whereas we do a very good job, we have our stories about people and about societies. But when we talk about the governments, we look at their motivations. We look at what they're doing and we don't shy away. I know in our recent cover story on the kind of cultural opening in Saudi Arabia, we basically had a whole page disclaimer, saying that this is, Mohammed bin Salman is opening up, social reforms, social freedoms at a time he's denying, political freedoms. In terms of Iran, I think that the issue is here why some countries get more coverage than others, especially in the West. It also has to do with access. The Gulf countries, they see, value in having good public relations by having, wowing people with concerts and bringing in foreign journalists. Whereas Iran feels that, I think largely, certain elements definitely feel that, the West is biased against it anyway. So there's no really reason to even try. But, in terms of, what our correspondent Scott Peterson does in Iran is quite frankly amazing. And I'll bet the shirt off my back is the best English language coverage we have from Iran, because you hear from the people, you hear from the stories, and it's not in that very narrow American lens. And that's very rare. And I think it's so important that we have that, because if we don't have that, we're dehumanizing entire people. And so I think that the Monitor is the place where we get that balance right. And unfortunately, I think in other realms, you don't. I think it's correct. I think you're going to more likely see a more favorable light of the Gulf than you ever are in Iran, because people don't work that hard to get the access that we are day in and day out.